Hi, everyone. Welcome to Apex Hours. Today, we will be doing an introduction to Revenue Cloud, CPQ, and DRO. Thank you to Amit and the Apex Hours team for having us. So my name is Georgi Savelyev. I'm the founder and a certified technical architect at Stratus Carta. I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for about 10 years, 6 years in Salesforce Industries, ex-Velocity, ex-Salesforce. I was part of the Comms Cloud AP team, and I've been working on about 20 plus Salesforce Industries implementations, and I'm based in Dubai in the UAE. I'd also like to introduce my colleague, Anuj.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining this Apex Hour session. My name is Anuj Vaishampayan. I am a principal technical architect at Stratus Carta. I have around 15 years of telco experience. I've been in Salesforce Industries for around 6 years. I'm around 14x Salesforce certified and part of Comms Cloud AP team who actually develops AP exams. And I have been involved in multiple Salesforce Industries implementation, which is around 15, and I'm based in Dubai. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anuj. And we are part of Stratus Carta. Stratus Carta is a boutique consultancy providing expert services for communications, media, energy, Salesforce Industries, and Revenue Cloud. The key takeaway for us is that we do not run projects. We help the projects you run better. If you're interested in getting our support on your Salesforce Industries or Revenue Cloud projects, please drop us a message on LinkedIn. We'd be happy to have a chat. All right, so if you joined our previous session, you may have noticed that the branding has changed a little bit. Previously, this whole CPQ and more solution was called Revenue Lifecycle Management, or RLM. It is now Revenue Cloud. So during Dreamforce 2024, so in September of 2024, this whole solution was rebranded. It is now known as just Revenue Cloud. You may see some people referring to this as Revenue Cloud Advanced or RCA. That is incorrect. This is actually one of the names of the SKUs for Revenue Cloud. So what you would see as a line item on your order form, the actual product name is Revenue Cloud, similar to how there are different editions of Sales Cloud, but you would refer to overall Sales Cloud as just Sales Cloud. Same thing. Revenue Cloud Advanced is a flavor of this, but Revenue Cloud is the product name, so you should refer to this as Revenue Cloud. If you're watching this in like late 2024, the branding may not be fully updated across Trailhead and the official help doc. So you may see Revenue Lifecycle Management or RLM, but it's the same thing. Revenue Cloud is the new name going forward. If you missed the first episode, please go back and watch that. So this is a 3-part series. We will be going, in the first episode, we went through an introduction, the product catalog, and Salesforce pricing. In this session, we'll be going through the product configurator, or the CPQ, dynamic revenue orchestrator, or DRO, which is the order management, and we'll do an end-to-end end user demo so you can see how a sales rep would use Revenue Cloud end-to-end. In the next session, we'll be going through Salesforce contracts and document generation, so you can see how all of that works together. So the agenda for today's session, we will go through the product configurator, go through some theory and best practices around that, then dynamic revenue orchestrator, or DRO. We will see an end-to-end end user demo going through the whole sales process from opportunity quote and order through the fulfillment in DRO to the end with ARC as well. And then we'll do a quick wrap up.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining this FXR session about product configurator and DRO. So as Georgi explained in the agenda, we will talk about product configurator and DRO in the session and then go over the demo. So let's start with the product configurator first. Okay, so in Revenue Cloud, product configurator behaves like a CPQ where you can customize your templates, how you want to look and feel about the product you are configuring, what kind of configuration screens you want, how it should behave. So all that functionality is available under the under product configurator. So on this slide, you can basically see that here it falls under the CPQ because the functionality what you are interacting with this is related to when you are configuring or pricing or or you are basically creating an order or code. So product configurator supports in driving your flow, how you want to manage it and how you want to basically present it on the screen. So this is a product configurator. Configurator is again you can use in different scenario, which is again amend, renew, cancel, as well as add scenario. These scenarios falls under CPQ, and we'll talk about on when we go into the detail on how you can utilize product configurator while you are driving your flows for amend, renew, and cancel, and how it will behave. Okay. So let's talk about the product configurator in detail now. So product configurator basically gives you the capability to raise your code and order correctly, validate instantly, run the pricing. It's basically a user-friendly interface which allows you to config product. It helps your salespeople to basically view what your product is, what are the configuration under it, and it helps them or gives them the capability to quickly configure or add any product, configure attributes for that particular product. And also it shows on the right side of it the summary panel, where you can basically see what are the items you have added, what are the configuration you have, and its pricing. So basically it's gives you a rich experience, or efficient experience, a smooth experience for your sales agent, whoever drives the sales flow, and helps them to configure a quote or order correctly. Okay, now let's talk about its key features. So let's go one by one. So instant pricing. Product configurator gives you the capability to calculate and update prices real time. Basically, it helps you to, whenever you are making changes to that product, or you're changing an attribute, if that attribute is dependent on the price, it gives you the capability to, whenever you make a change, it will instantly price based on that condition, or based on whatever you have changed. It instantly or in real time it price the product. Okay. Next, configuration summary overview. So like I was talking in previous slide, on the right panel, it has a summary of configuration summary of that product. It will show you what attributes you have selected, what products or child products you have selected, and what are their prices. Then real-time product validation. It also keeps on validating your products as and how you change, or you make changes to your product, you change any attributes or any child products you add or remove. It instantly again runs the validation against that product, and validate the product whether the configuration is correct or not. Then next come actionable error message. So once the validations runs and it finds that your product has any error, or then any background rules are running which is throwing error or warning, it basically actionable error message allows you to present those messages on product configurator screen, which will help you or your sales agent to basically show, or have, or help them to understand what is that error, and then they can rectify that error message based on the message you have presented on the screen. Then next feature is customizable templates. So these customizable templates are provided inside Revenue Cloud, which you can use them to basically build a flow using the flow builder. You can use them as a drag and drop component and configure your flows for the product configurator. The next are preview and assign templates. So this feature basically gives you the capability to when you are configuring a product, it gives you the capability to preview that product configuration screen during its design time itself. So it's basically helps product configurator, or product catalog manager who is trying to configure the product and wants to see also that how the product looks like during the runtime, how the configuration screen will look like. So this feature will help you to preview those templates during the design time as well. Then the last feature is configuration rules. So there are different type of configuration rules. We will deep dive in, all those kind of configuration rules. But to give you an understanding, these configuration rules basically helps you to, configure your product correctly or configure your code order correctly, so that that doesn't result into error as it goes into provisioning or other system. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Let's talk about the key terms when we are talking about product configurator. There are some terms we should be get familiarized with. So summary component. So as I was saying, the summary component basically shows you and displays you the summary of your configured bundle or simple product. It also gives you real-time updates on, as and now you make the selection on the product, you basically and update an attribute. It shows on the summary component. Option groups. So option groups are basically allows you to show any child product available inside that bundle, and it basically gives you the capability under that screen to select those that child product and add it inside the bundle or in the code. Then there is a message component, which is basically to display any kind of error message, warning message, or information message alerts on that screen, right? Then we goes to default product configurator flow. So this product configurator provides you, it comes with a pre-built flow, which is called configurator flow. This flow basically drives how your product configurator looks like and what screen it moves to. So you can basically select this flow during your product configuration, and it's also have the capability to customize it. Instant pricing, basically we talked about it. It gives you the capability to in real time price the product during your configuration of the product. Product validation again allows you or triggers you to trigger any rule or show the messages, make this code validated, which allows you to enhance your performance and reduce any unnecessary manual step or any any errors which can occur during the order fulfillment process. Okay, rule scope. Basically, rule scope are the one where you define, let's say, some kind of scope or boundary for that rule, how this rule should be executed, whether it's for a product or for a product bundle. You basically ensures that this rule runs within that scope or within that boundary. Hope it is clear for everyone. Let's move to the next slide. Let's talk about flow components for product configurator. So I will show you this also during our demo. So, but let's go through them one by one. The first is product header, basically, which serves you as a main header where you can, where products are configured, or there are some essential details which are provided under this header. Okay. Then product attributes. Product attributes basically allows users whenever there are characteristics or attributes defined for that product, that product attribute would allow you to provide that configuration screen and allows you to configure attributes for that product. Pricing summary component basically it offers a real-time overview for total cost plus individual cost for that product. It gives you a clear perspective of what is the what is the price for an individual product or bundle level product, or what is the total summary. So this component basically helps you to drive that pricing summary on the screen. Then the data manager. So this is basically an invisible flow component where config data is mapped between your context and your context definition and UI. So Whoever not familiar with context definition, please watch the previous video where I have explained about what is context definition. So it will make more sense to you when you go through that session and then come back to this. So it is clear. But in a short description, it basically tells you what is the input or what is the source of that data which your product configure will act on. That is called the context definition. So this components together basically form the UI you have seen in my previous slide, and we will see it in the demo as well. Then I will just give you a short recap of what we have discussed on the slide. Okay. So this we have like out of the box flow component. It is pre-built and shipped with the Revenue Cloud. You can use it, and there is a component here which is product configuration UI. So under which you will have the customizable layouts or pre-built components which you can use and customize them as per your need or requirements. Coming to the product configuration flow, so how you can use this flow and how you can relate this flow or map this flow to product. So here basically you have from the app launcher you can basically search for product configuration flow, and there you can either create a new configuration flow and then use that screen to assign products to that template. So here on this screen, you can see that product identifier. It's a custom product configurator flow. This is the flow API name, and under that you can assign either the product directly, or you can also assign product classification. So you basically have both the capability. So assign product to a template or assign product classification to that template. So it basically decide there could be multiple products under one classification, and or you can use it as map to a single product as well. It depends on whatever your business needs are. Based on that, you can configure that configuration flow. Okay. Moving on to product configurator preview. So like I was saying in my previous slide, that on the product, when you go or you're configuring a product, so you have a preview button on that product, and to see how your configuration screen will look like for that particular product. So in this example, you can see here there is a 5G mobile plan, and on this you can basically go and click on preview. There is a preview button available on that screen, and it helps you to visualize how your product will look like on the screen. It's a really good feature to utilize, and for product managers, product catalog managers, to see basically how their configuration looks like during the design time, right? And how it is fitting to the screen, how the attributes will look like, and what kind of summary it will show. So it's a really cool feature. So when you're working with product configurator, what are the components, what you will see, how you can use configurator to basically drive different functionality. So here when on this screen, basically you can see what are the default options available for that product. You can basically have the capability to update quantity. You can also have here attributes listed. There are different attribute categories, and different under each attribute category you will have what attributes are, whatever attributes are under that attribute category. If there is a default value, you would be able to see that default values here, and should be able to configure the attributes or any add-ons available under that plan. You should be able to configure on this screen. Moving to real-time pricing and instant validation. So on product configurator screen, you have these two toggles, which allows you one for product validation, second for instant pricing, right? So it basically, it helps you to instantly price the product if that instant pricing toggle is on. And if whether you want to, you have a choice basically whether you want to keep them on to run the instant pricing. But also keep in mind, when you keep them on, it also takes little toll on your performance, because at the same time of configuration you are running pricing and validation as well. So it will also reduce your performance a bit, because it's doing multiple things at the same time. uh, so for some configuration, you can enable it, but just keep this factor in mind that it impacts performance, right? So yeah, so coming back to product configurator capability here, basically to give you to validate this configuration and also price your product or bundle on this screen. So here you can see that you have messages displayed, where if there are any conditional, any cardinality messages, or any messages coming with by running any rules or rules execution, it will be listed here. So then it also gives you like I was explaining, that if these toggles are on, it will instantly price the product, or it will instantly validate the product. But you can disable them, and you also have a button here which invokes the validation manually. So there are two options. So once, if these toggles are enabled, whenever you are making changes, it instantly takes that changes and validate that change and price that change, right? Second option is you disable these toggles and validate the product card. So it will basically validate your entire card, your selections, and it will throw you message after you have configured everything. And then once you save and exit, it basically again run those configuration, run the pricing, and then finally present you the final price. So it depends on what choices you make, or what are your business requirement during the sales flow. You basically have both the capabilities to run the instant validation or pricing, or do it later once you have configured the product. Okay, I hope it is clear for you guys. Let's move to the next slide. Configuration rules. So configuration rules are really important for any kind of CPQ. It basically helps you to run your business rules, validate your order code, and helps you to helps any salesperson or agents to guide them on the sales journey and create a perfect order or code, right? So in Revenue Cloud also gives you the capability to create your configuration rules. So there are different type of configurations rules, where you can define different type of actions like validate, whether the attributes on the products are set correctly, or you want to present any message. You can throw a message, warning message, info message. So for example, if a specific laptop brand is selected, ensure that only compatible accessories are chosen. So this is kind of validation message, right? So if you want to throw as an information message on the screen, you can use this type of action. Then we have a exclude. Exclude is, as the name suggests, it basically helps you if you want to basically exclude any attribute value or any attribute, and provide a message. So basically, for an example, prevent the selection of type X chargers when phones of model Y are selected, right? So you can basically present this message and exclude that attribute from that product. And presenting a message basically gives you it make it more informed decision for it helps sales agent or salesperson to make an informed decision what is happening in the configuration is screen basically. That's why presenting a message during any kind of rule execution is always a good practice. So which lets users know what is happening behind the scene, right? Then require. So if there is, if you want to make any attribute or any product, require for that configuration, you can use this type of rule, which, helps again, sales agent to basically let them know that with this configuration, this particular attribute is required, or, a particular child product is required, so they can add or update that code. Auto add basically helps you to auto add any product to a bundle when that rules execute. So you can basically provide conditions for these rules, and based on that conditions, you can define the actions. And in the actions, these are like auto add, exploit. These are the actions which, when the condition is satisfied, these actions executes. So similarly, auto add basically add any product to that quote on order whenever the condition satisfies. Same goes for auto remove. It's just opposite of auto add. Auto removes basically remove a product where after that, once that rule is executed. Set attribute basically it will allow, or it will provide the capability for the user to set, or during the runtime to set an attribute value based on a condition. Once the condition satisfy, this attribute will be set for. So for example, if we go about it, set power adapter to 96 watt when a laptop with an advanced configuration is selected. So whenever this advanced configuration laptop is selected, the power adapter value would be set to 96 watt. So that kind of rule, you can use it during the configuration. Then set quantity, similar to set attribute. This also allows you to set a certain numeric value for the quantity. There are different use cases, scenarios where this kind of setup or rules are required. So you have basically Revenue Cloud gives you this capability via configuration rules to update code, or to execute different kind of business rules as per your business scenario. I have also an example during the demo, which I will show you guys. So you will it will make more sense how these rules are executed, and I will show you that configuration as well. Okay, so hope configuration rules are clear to everyone. Let's move to the next slide. So this is an example. I thought it would be important to show this screen as well, how and what kind of rule configurations you can do. So here you can see they're like to create for creating rules. It is important to have a rules library created. Without the rules library, it is essential for rule engine to have a rules library. Without the rules library, it will not your rules will not execute. So this is a prerequisite to create your rules library, right? Then when you so on this screenshot, you can see that this is the rule library screenshot, where you define the name and version, and then the important thing is important thing is to have the context definition right. So on this, the rules will execute based on whatever context definition or data you provide to that rule as a source. So based on that, your rules will work, right? So when you are creating the rules, what information you have to give is your names, your name is generic. Then you have your scope, what scope it should be, whether it's bundle or it's individual. Then once you define the scope, you have product, if it is a bundle, you just choose the product, which bundle you want. If it is individual product, you can select that individual product. Then on condition section, you can define either one or multiple conditions for that particular product or bundle. So here in this example, you can see that if I have defined a condition when product, and if you select this bundle, under this bundle, if you are selecting this product laptop, and if the attribute value is set to 2 SSD hard drive 2 TB, then execute the following action. So what is that action? This action is basically set attribute, which on set attribute on the product laptop. Which attribute you want to set is this graphic attribute. So this graph, whenever on the laptop the storage type is selected to SSD hard drive 2 TB, this attribute graphic will be set to the value MSI Gaming GeForce RTX 3660. And what type of message you want to present is selectable here. You can select whether it's warning, informational, or error. So in this case, I'm presenting an information message that graphics attribute has been updated on this product. Okay. So that's how your configuration rule works. You provide conditions, actions, and the rule scope. These are the three criteria or important things where which is required to configure the rule. And you can also execute multiple actions, right? Like you can define multiple conditions or single condition. Based on that, you can also have multiple actions for that specific rules. Okay, great. If it is, I think if it's clear, let's move to the next slide now. Amendment configuration. So again, very important topic where when you create MACD's journey in Revenue Cloud sense, it is amend, renew, and cancel. That is called like arc, where you are modifying your assets, right? So this is how it is presented on the screen, where product configuration screen, where you can basically update, do a quick update, pricing. You can see the pricing, then you can view what changes you have done, and also execute all these amend, renew, and cancel scenario. So how it presented on the screen here, you can see on this product, antivirus is the new product which got added, so that's why it has a label new set to it. Then you can see on the laptop, there are like quantity got updated from 2 to 5. So here you can see +3. So there are like update. That's why the action is update here. Then the mouse got cancelled. This product got in this scenario, this product got cancelled. That's why the label is cancelled. So it gives you a very clear picture during your arc scenarios where you are not doing any changes to your existing asset. Moving to the next slide. Also for like you have a configuration flow for new scenarios, there is also a flow for which helps you to execute amend, renew, and cancel scenario. Here again, under the Revenue Cloud settings, you can define which flow you want to execute. You can create the flow, just provide the name here. This settings helps you to basically identify and execute this particular flow, whatever you have configured under this scenario. So this setting is called setup flow for managing assets, and under this you can provide that flow name API, and basically during the runtime, it checks the setting, get the name from here, and then uses that flow. Okay. So this flow basically helps you to run your scenarios for amend, renewing any products, canceling assets, or you are doing any changes. I know there are multiple scenarios where you can do change or cancel in together. So basically, this flow helps you to drive that functionality. Moving to next slide. So how this flow or this amend, renew or cancel scenario is invoked. So there is an asset tab where you can do this asset management. So this you will be able to find it under an account. This asset tab allows you to manage your asset. You can manage and see your asset. So here there will be a list of assets under that account, and then it also gives you the capability. Basically, you can select from here whatever assets you want to proceed with. You can have a selection, and then basically execute the flow you want to go for, whether it is amend flow, renew, or cancel. You can trigger that flow from these buttons for particular assets. Okay. So moving to next slide, which is a very nice feature called third-party configurator support. So this feature basically lets you, integrate any third-party UI or components with your product configurator. So there are APIs which can be invoked, and you can develop your own custom widgets. It also provides capability of driving both third party and first party configurator together. So it depends. You can invoke your first party configurator is always there, and you are in house, and you want to run that first party configurator flow via an agent or sales cycle. It is always available. But imagine with the scenario where you want to expose this configurator or this flow to outside or on the website. You can create your custom widgets, create your LWCs, and use these APIs or this third-party configurator to drive your entire sales flow through a customizable or customized UI. So that's how third-party configurator utilized or gives you capability to run run your configuration or run your sales through your own UI or your own UI platform. So how it supports these flow, basically, third-party configurator provides headlet config APIs where it can be integrated with custom UI. There are like around 8 headless API which covers key transactions or key configuration actions, which helps you to drive the sales flow. Basically, these are the APIs to save your instances, set quantity, add, update, or delete nodes. So I have provided the list of the APIs here, which helps you to load instance at that particular instance, set product quantity, add, update, delete nodes. So this is these API can be utilized under your LWCs or your UI components, and can be invoked to drive your sales flow. Then also these API basically also drive your process governance or orchestration flow inside these API. So these API acts as your process orchestrator, where it manages key process behind the scenes, like product product qualification, cardinality validation, running the configuration rules inside it, and pricing. So you don't have to invoke a separate API for pricing your product or running validation. Is basically these are the set of APIs when you are using, when you are adding any node update or or delete. Behind the scene, it orchestrate this qualification, cardinality, validation, pricing, and rules execution behind the scene. And for your reference, I have also given the API reference doc here, and you can easily find this documents on the Revenue Cloud document under sale on the Salesforce website, help website. So please have a look there, and you can read it out more about these APIs. Okay, so that's it for the product configurator. Okay, guys, so let's talk about dynamic revenue orchestrator, or AKA DRO. Under Revenue Cloud, DRO basically have two kind of setup. One is design time and another is runtime. So each of them we will look into in details. So on this particular slide, this dynamic revenue orchestrator, or DRO, consists of two main functionality, which is decomposition and orchestration. And this acts basically in all the scenarios where whether it is add, amend, renew, or cancel, right? So this basically drives your order decomposition, your orchestration process, or your fulfillment process falls under DRO. So we will talk about all the DRO key features, how it is configured, how you can use it, and then we will go into the demo right away. So let's dig into this DRO. So basically, what is DRO? This is DRO basically enables businesses to, or different kind of businesses to decompose and orchestrate the order process with ease. So allows you to basically decompose your products when you order, when you create a code, then you quote is you add your products to that code, you create order from that code, and once you submit this code, or you submit the order, you will basically your DRO engine will kick in, and it will have basically that product decomposed and then orchestrated, or to fulfill your fulfillment process or your order. So what are the features or key features of the DRO? Let's go through it. So first is decomposition. Decomposition basically breaks down your product into or your order line items to fulfillment your fulfillment line or your fulfillment products, to which is used by fulfillment plans to fulfill, or use fulfillment plans to complete the fulfillment tasks which are configured under that fulfillment plan. So decomposition is nothing but breaking your order product into several tasks or several sub orders to help fulfillment process to fulfill that task. Next is orchestration. So orchestration is basically coordinate how your fulfillment process run, and what task will be running inside this, and how they will be dependent on each other. So this orchestration process will decide or ensure that all task which helps to fulfill that order is executed, and executed in a sequence, so that it fulfill that order accurately. Next is jeopardy management. So jeopardy management basically helps you to potentially or proactively address or potentially or create alerts on any potential risk arriving due to some order reaching to their threshold or their SLS. So it basically proactively monitor those products, proactively monitor the risk, and creates alerts or create messages to help you to run that order or that fulfillment process on track. Next is fallout management. So fallout management basically, as the name suggests, if there are any errors or any exceptions comes during your order fulfillment process, basically, when you are integrating with any downstream system or any third-party system, which can potentially throw an error. So whenever that error comes, how to handle that? That is called fallout management, right? So that's how your fallout management will help to manage or reduce the risk for failing your order. Okay, so moving to the next slide, let's talk about the functional architecture of DRO. So on the left side, if you look here, basically your orders, are created, and your orders uses your catalog data. Pricing is used, how the product rules, definitions, whether it is bundle, and also all this metadata is used during the creation of the order. And once your order is submitted, it comes to the DRO engine. It takes it, and then basically it uses decomposition engine to decompose those product into several fulfillment requests, and these fulfillment requests are basically used by the orchestrator to execute the predefined plan for that particular scenario or that particular product. And this plan, this orchestration plan basically consists of several tasks which will be executed for that orchestration plan during that fulfillment process. And then during this orchestration plan, there are different type of tasks which allows you to integrate with different third-party system, handles your SLAs through jeopardy management, or handle any kind of exception error through fallout management. So, and once these orchestrator completes its task and it reaches to its milestone, finishes all its execution, your order will be marked as completed or activated. Prerequisite for the DRO. So whenever you have this org for Revenue Cloud, DRO will not be enabled by default. So you have to basically go into the dynamic revenue orchestrator setting under the setup and basically switch on the DRO from here. And then there is also a separate setting for switching on the fallout and jeopardy management, which is as SLA agreement. So both of the features you can enable if you want to use them. If you don't want, you can keep them disabled and just use DRO as your decomposition and orchestration feature. So but just make a note of these settings. So whenever you are like starting on Revenue Cloud journey and you want to use the DRO, just try to remember that you have to enable these settings before using or configuring the DRO. Okay, so next topic is design time decomposition. So what is design time decomposition? Basically, you have to plan how your products will be decomposed into technical products, how your commercial products will be decomposed, or decomposed into technical product, and how they will be utilized. Those decomposed product will be utilized for orchestration process. So you have to, during the business requirement gathering, you have to ask these questions. Or you have, when you are understanding this product, understanding the fulfillment process, you will know that based on these fulfillment process, or based on your decomposition, different kind of decomposition scenario, how you want to create this decomposition for your product. So DRO gives you the capability to set up this decomposition through fulfillment designer, basically, where you can create your decomposition mappings, and design your fulfillment process as well. So as I explained, decomposition will occur when you submit the order, and you have capability to basically design and define rules for your decomposition process. And based on your rules and mapping, this decomposition will execute and create the fulfillment request. So for an example here, if I have to explain, when a customer order a phone, the process could be the decomposition could works like based on what is needed by the downstream system. So a phone basically requires needs to be delivered, so it needs shipping. If the phone also requires a SIM card, so if SIM card is purchased, we need a provisioning. We have to provision that SIM card to the downstream system. Then if there is you are selling a plan also with this mobile, then you have to do a credit check for that customer. So all this based on this requirement, you can basically create your or design your decomposition. So on the right side, this is an example of how the products or how the decomposition works during during the runtime. And this is how you can design your decomposition when you are once you gather the requirement and you want to visualize. So it's a very good way to put it on a diagram and visualize it, and visualize it how your decomposition will work. So in this example, you can see this is a bundle here for Fiber Professional bundle, and there is a product spec which holds multiple child products, and there is another hierarchy level under managed services have different products. So here you can see that this internet product spec is completely decomposed into a billing CFS, which is called customer facing services, which holds all the products, because all the product needs to be sent to billing system. Then also there is a child product which is called dynamic IP, which also probably needs a separate provisioning system. That's why we can decompose into a separate technical product, so that it can use its own provisioning task to fulfill this product. Then similarly for other products, you can decompose into multiple products or single products. It totally depends on how, or how your business wants, or how the downstream system needs their order in which form. So basically you can based on these conditions, you can decide or design your decomposition. During when you're configuring the decomposition, what features or how you can use, what are the features available for configuring your decomposition, and how you can use them. So basically, first let's talk about the decomposition rule. So you can basically control your decomposition by defining a set of rules, and and the priorities for these rules. So basically it helps you, these rules basically helps you to to decide how your decomposition will work, whether the product will be decomposed or not, or will be decomposed based on a condition. That's how you can decide. You can create the rule, you can define the conditions, and during the runtime, these conditions and rules will be evaluated to decompose that product. Conditions. So basically conditions tells you, on which condition the rule should be executed. So here you can see on this rule, there is a condition which tells that, if OLI is like your order line item attribute, is storage equals to SSD hard drive to TB. If this attribute is there, then only decompose that product. So this kind of rule setup can be done during your, when you're designing your decomposition, and this rule then will be evaluated during the runtime to create to execute the decomposition for that product. Then field and attribute mapping. So your decomposition during the design time also gives you the capability to create a mapping for your fields and attributes. So uh, on this example, you can see that on left side, basically is your commercial product, which has all your product attributes and fields defined on that product. And on the right side, you can choose basically your target product or your technical product, where and then basically you can create the mapping to decide which attribute will be going to which target attribute, which source attribute was basically decomposed into the target attribute. So here you can see the list of attributes, and these are mapped to the target attributes. So during the decomposition, during runtime, it basically utilizes this mapping to decompose and fill the attributes or fields on the target product. Okay, then the next is configure list mapping. So here there is another feature where you can have let's say a single value on the attribute, but there could be a multiple values, and you have like characteristics defined on a layman example would be, let's say, on a product on a broadband speed, instead of like numbers 50, 100, or 200, 500, you basically have your products attribute named as fast, ultra fast, or advanced, like that. And based on these value, you want to create a mapping for for a speed, right? So the provisioning system doesn't understand what is fast or ultra fast, right? So basically you have to send them a meaningful value which they understand. So but for ease of customers, to customer to understand, it would be easy to display them fast, ultra fast. So on the commercial side, you can use the values as as you like, or as business want on the UI screen. But when you are decomposing this product, you can use this configure list mapping feature, where you can create a list of those values, and what target value it will be mapped to. So in this case, broadband speed, the fast attribute value is mapped to 50 Mbps for the fulfillment line item, and ultra fast is mapped to 100 Mbps. So whenever this fiber bundle or this broadband product is decomposed, it will or the attribute, whenever the attribute is fast and ultra fast, it will be basically decomposed into a technical product with the value of 50 Mbps or 100 Mbps. That's how this configure list mapping works. Hope this is clear for everyone. Now let's move to the next slide. Decomposition scopes. So decomposition scope is also, is very important, specifically in, in telco world, where you want to define how your decomposition works and how many products or technical products you want or fulfillment request you want to submit for particular order, right? So let's try to understand these scenarios. This is scopes. So first scope would be order line item, which is by default, if you don't set any decomposition scope, it will be mapped as order line item. So in this case, what will happen? Only one instance for that particular line item will be generated. So for each order line item, there will be a equivalent technical product, equivalent fulfillment request generated during the decomposition, which is depicted by this diagram on the right side. So P1 and P2 are the product or different order line item here, and which are decomposed into its respectively its own fulfillment request. So P1 is decomposed into FL1 and P2 is decomposed into FL2. Now next is order. So in the order, a single instance of that fulfillment order line item is created as for that particular order, regardless of how many products required for the same technical product, right? So if, let's say, for that particular order, you have multiple products, P1, P2, P3, P4, depends on how your cart is. But during the fulfillment, if the order scope is if the decomposition scope is set to order, then only one instance of that fulfillment request for particular that order will be generated for those product, right? So let's say if P1, P2 both for that the decomposition scope is set to order, then for both of the product, if they are there inside an order, for both of them, only one fulfillment request will be generated. Okay, so for next is bundle. So as the name suggests, for this particular decomposition scope, a new instance of the fulfillment request will be generated for or per bundle. So imagine a scenario where you have two bundles or three bundles in your cart, and once decomposed, there will be a fulfillment request line for each bundle. So on the right hand side, imagine this is a bundle which has P2 as a child and P1 is its parent product. So this P1 and P2, this will be considered as a bundle, and when you decompose this bundle, only one fulfillment request line will be generated for the whole bundle, whether it has one line item under that bundle, or it has like multiple childs, one child, multiple childs, it doesn't matter. Now the fulfillment now the decomposition scope is set to bundle. So for that particular bundle, it will always generate one fulfillment request. Next is account. So once this decomposition scope is set, then what it will do, that there could be scenarios where multiple orders are generated for under that account, and you want to control, and you don't want to send multiple requests under that account to the fulfillment system. The requirement might be that for number of orders either under that account, only one fulfillment request will be is needed or will be sent down to the fulfillment systems. So in those scenarios, you can set the decomposition scope to an account, and whenever you if there are multiple orders with the products under that order, it will be always decomposed into a single fulfillment request. Okay. So hope that's clear. Let's move to the next slide, which is fulfillment designer. So once you decompose your product, once you know that the decomposition is finished for those product, you also have to handle a fulfillment for those product, right? So those decomposed product will be handled during or sent to the provisioning system via your fulfillment flow or via your orchestration flow, right? So after the decomposition, to handle this fulfillment journey, you have to design your fulfillment plan as well, right? What is this fulfillment plan? So basically, this fulfillment plan consists of different type of fulfillment steps, and these steps basically could be dependent or can be executed parallelly inside that fulfillment plan. And so this each item under this fulfillment plan called fulfillment step, right? And each fulfillment step have its own I would say properties or its own type of execution or properties which decides how this item will be treated, right? We will get get them to get them in, or I will explain them in detail or about each fulfillment step, what type it is, and how they will be utilized in coming slides. So for now, what is important is to understand what is fulfillment designer, how you can design your fulfillment step, and what are the key features or key concept of fulfillment design. So on this diagram here, you can see that this is acting as a fulfillment plan. Under this, you have multiple type of fulfillment steps, and these fulfillment steps are linked with the dependencies. And then these fulfillment steps basically also integrate with the third-party system or provisioning system to basically fulfill that order or that particular fulfillment step. And also it is important, I mean, also in fulfillment designer, you have the capability to basically execute these tasks based on some conditions as well. So fulfillment designer gives you the capability to put some conditions around these fulfillment steps, which during the runtimes evaluated and decides whether that fulfillment task is needed or fulfillment step is needed for that particular fulfillment plan or orchestration plan. Okay, so all these things you can prepare in advance. Fulfillment designer gives you the capability to design this orchestration plan or fulfillment plan during your design time. You can prepare this in advance, and it will be used during the runtime execution. So it will basically use this template to drive use your design time template to drive the fulfillment process. Under the fulfillment designer, it also gives you the capability to create your workspace. So this workspace is basically nothing but acts as a space where you can design what type of steps or what type of active groups you would be needed to execute those steps. So what it will what benefit it's give you, it basically allows you to visualize and manage the whole orchestration process or fulfillment plan, visually. So it's gives you the better idea how your tasks will be executed, what tasks are dependent on which task, and how your full execution process looks like or fulfillment process looks like. So it is for specifically for technical managers who are handling the fulfillment process. It will be very beneficial for them to see this, how the design time flow looks like. So under that fulfillment designer, you can create a fulfillment workspace. Then you have the capability to define the fulfillment step definition group. So fulfillment definition group is nothing. It basically acts like a container under which you can define multiple steps. So if, let's say step 1, 2, 3 belongs to a particular group called network provisioning. So all this 3 steps will be executed under that group, or it will be shown under that particular group or particular streamline during the runtime as well. Then you can link your fulfillment scenarios with your with your fulfillment definition group. What it allows you to basically, you can have these groups based defined on or based on the type of task you are running under that group. So for example, there could be tasks for delivery, there could be a group for installation, there could be a group for billing, and each group will have its own execution task, which will be executed under that group. And how that group will know that on which scenario that group or those tasks needs to be executed. So that is called scenarios, product fulfillment scenario. So in that product fulfillment scenario, you will basically define that what group it is you want to use for that particular scenario, and which product will trigger that group, right? So in this case, in this example, this delivery is a definition for that for that fulfillment step definition group. And for that product, the scenario, the action would be add and change. What it means basically is that whenever this product is added or changed, then this delivery group will be executed, and under this delivery group, whatever task you have defined will be executed, right? That's how you can link your product to your fulfillment definition group and fulfillment steps. Then once you finish defining your fulfillment definition group, you can start defining the fulfillment steps to a particular definition group. So in this case, you can see there are like 2 fulfillment steps: update billing confirmation is defined under product definition fulfillment step definition group, which is this last lane, right? Yeah, so quickly, just we will recap the things. It is a little complicated. So what you will do, fulfillment designer helps you to create your fulfillment process or visualize your fulfillment process. Under fulfillment workspace, you can create your definition groups, and under these definition groups, you can link these definition groups to a particular fulfillment scenarios, which helps you to drive that group task. And after defining linking these scenarios order actions, whether it's add or change, you can create fulfillment step definition under a particular group. Okay, hope it's clear for everyone. Moving to the next slide. Now coming to fulfillment step configuration. So once you define your groups, you have to create your fulfillment step. And under this fulfillment step, basically there are different type of steps you can define. you can basically have the capability to, graphically connect or create dependency between each other, each of the fulfillment step, and the dependency be will be shown by a blue line here, so that in this diagram you can see these all fulfillment steps are connected to each other, and this blue lines depicts as the dependency between them. Then after creating the fulfillment step, you can create the dependency between them. Then you can define the conditions, right? You can define condition for each of the step, which allows you to control the execution of that particular fulfillment step, whether for as per your business need you want that particular fulfillment step to execute or not. You can control it via defining the definition or condition on that particular fulfillment step. And these conditions also helps you to basically pause a particular type of fulfillment step, and once those conditions are satisfied, it will basically also allows you to resume. So this type of task will be waiting until that condition is satisfied. So once that condition is satisfied, it basically start executing that step. One thing to note that when you are creating this fulfillment plan, when you are linking this product, avoid creating dependency loop, which is basically you create link the product to itself. So basically it goes into dependency loop and avoid and creates or generates error, and hence it will throw, or it will fail your fulfillment plan during the fulfillment process. So please be aware of that. Moving to the next slide. Fulfillment task type. So like we were talking about all these fulfillment step, fulfillment tasks. So what are these fulfillment task types basically you can use for or during your fulfillment process? Let's go through them one by one. So first is call out. Call out is a task basically used for any type of interaction with any external system or external fulfillment system you want to do. So for an example, you want to integrate with provisioning or billing system or any delivery shipping system, you can use this type of task, which is called call out, to integrate with any third-party system. Next come pause event. So this pause event basically allows you to pause your orchestration plan until that any condition which is defined for this particular type of event task is satisfied. So once for an example, during fiber plan fulfillment, if there is a task you want to wait for, let's say, until the delivery or installation is finished for that particular building or house, you want to wait or hold this entire orchestration plan, you can basically create a pause event and put a dependency between the installation and this pause event. So until an external system approves or notifies back to Revenue Cloud that the installation is done or delivery is done, then only this condition will be satisfied. So once this condition is true, your pause event will marked as resume, and it will allow you to proceed through that particular step and move forward into the fulfillment plan. Next come auto task. So auto task is basically used for processing or preparing any data during the fulfillment process, and basically it works on or it executes internally. So if you want to automate any task or work on any data manipulation or data preparation within the Revenue Cloud, then use this type of task, which is called auto task, right? And you can perform, basically it invokes an apex, or it can or you can invoke flow. You have different capability to do that, and it basically interacts internally. So the key point to note is, for this specific task, it automates the logics within Salesforce. Okay. Next is milestone. Milestone basically represent a point of interest inside that fulfillment process. So any point which where you needs to be, or a requirement set that if this point is reached, that is a milestone and needs to get a notification for that. So in that case, you can create a milestone for particular that event. For example, if delivery is complete for a equipment, or shipping is complete for equipment, you can create a link, a milestone after the delivery completion is done, and that milestone will be reflected there as delivery completed. So it just basically a placeholder to kind of generate a notification, or use it as to generate use this type of task to have kind of a notification, or a certain point of interest to be reached. Use this milestone. So it doesn't drive any functionality, but it's just a placeholder to have it in the orchestration plan to mark it that some kind of milestones has been achieved for this fulfillment process. Next is manual task. These tasks are used basically when you need any kind of input during this fulfillment process. For example, if there is you want to interact with a third party system during this fulfillment system, you can invoke an Omni script, or you can put an URL for that particular for that particular system, which will lead you to which basically will tells you that this task would need manual interaction or manual involvement to complete this task. So someone has to come manually invoke this Omni script, or go to that particular URL, perform some task, and come back and manually update or mark this task as a complete. And then this task will be marked as complete, and your orchestration or fulfillment flow will resume and execute the further task. As we went through the decomposition scope, fulfillment definitions of fulfillment steps also have scope, which decides basically how and how many fulfillment steps will be generated based on this scope. Okay, so you have scopes at two places. One is decomposition, another is fulfillment step. So let's go through the type of scope on the fulfillment step, and how basically it controls how many instances will be generated, or how many how it basically manages the fulfillment process during the fulfillment process. So the first scope is plan. The plan basically tells you that it will basically generate one instance of particular that step for that entire fulfillment plan, right? So for example, you need it's kind of a activation service or confirm service step, where you need only once confirmation, no matter how many products it requires, but you need to just send down only one confirmation service a message to downstream system. So you can basically use this as a fulfillment step scope as a plan to basically generate only one fulfillment step for entire plan. So no matter how many products are there, it will always create one fulfillment step for that particular plan. Next is bundle. So similarly, as the name suggests, it also will generate one instance of that particular step for that particular bundle in that order. So each bundle will have its own fulfillment step for that order. Example here again is, again for group of bundles, there is activation service or confirmation service is needed for each type of bundle. Then there we can define the fulfillment step scope as a bundle. So when it basically generates one fulfillment step for that particular bundle as it is shown in this diagram here. So when your scope is bundle, if there are two bundles in your code or order, it will generate two fulfillment steps. Next is line item. So as the name suggests, this is like a default scope for that fulfillment step definition as well. If you don't define it, so it basically what it does, it's generate each for each order item, it generates equivalent fulfillment step for that line item. So if there are n number of or 5 number of line items, then basically 5 fulfillment steps would be generated. Okay. SLA jeopardy configuration. So again, interesting topic. So what is basically jeopardy? So here basically DRO generates some certain kind of alerts, or it gives you the capability to explain you or send you alerts when when based on the configuration, it says that your order is in risk if it doesn't reach its SLA, right? So it's proactively monitor your orchestration plan and steps performed inside that plan, and check on your jeopardy configuration basically, and based on that configuration, it decides whether your plan or that particular step is at risk and generates the alert messages, right? Oh, key features or key concept under jeopardy are like estimated duration. So it defines how long that fulfillment step is expected to take, and based on that, it decides its duration of that particular task. So for example, there is a manual task to check the credit of the customer, and if you have provided the estimated duration for that particular task as like, let's say 3 hours, and the threshold for that particular task is set to 30 minutes, then basically once the 2.5 hours is completed, it will put that task into jeopardy status, that it will mark it as a risk, that this task is under a risk because it hasn't completed or it has breached its SLA, or it has not completed yet, and probably only 30 minutes is left during the completion of this task. So it's basically generates this kind of alerts or messages. So as I explained, like these thresholds are used for defining these conditions. So it basically sets the warning period before any step. So if you say is like your task should be completed during like within 100 minutes, but your threshold is set to 10 minutes, then after 90 minutes this task will be flagged as at risk, and it will give you alert that this particular task in Jeopardy. Okay, so next is fallout configuration. Fallout configuration also, as we are explaining, it's particularly helps to handle any kind of exceptions or errors coming during the task executed, particularly auto task and callouts. So it basically ensures your fulfillment process runs smoothly, and if there are errors coming, then how to handle those errors, right? So key concepts for this fallout configurations are fallout rules, which basically you can define these fallout rules for each step, and what should be done if that steps fails, what how many number of retries you want to do, whether you want to assign it to particular queue where someone will act on it. So you have different kind of mechanism under the fallout to handle this kind of exception. So for an example, if you set a rule for particular task call out, if it receives error code 402 like up to 3 times, then assign it to queue if it fails. So basically what it will do, on the right hand side you can see the screenshot here. It says that what would be the retry policy. It would be immediate, how many number of retries it should be needed. So you can give the number here. So if it is defined as 3, it will basically tries, it will retry that particular item for 3 times, and if it is not done, then it marked as fail, and it assign it to a queue. And it basically depends on your configuration how you want to handle it. And error code, so it basically checks a particular error code under that response for that call out, and if that particular error code comes, it basically start working on it based on the configuration you have defined for that. Then second is customizable failure handling. So you can basically define different kind of rules or specific rules for each step or task that result into a failure. So example, assigning different rules based on the integration definitions or different kind of error codes. So let's understand this via an example. So if you will have you have defined a fallout rule one with specific for that specific integration definition warehouse pull, but that it doesn't specify any error code. So this rule is basically is generic and doesn't work on any error code. But in second case, there is a rule which handles a particular situation or works on particular error code, right? So you creates a couple of rules, and based on these rules, when the call out basically when this call out is executed, and you get a response of that particular code what you have defined inside this fallout rule, it basically it will execute the relevant rule for that. And once like in this case rule number 1, but in other cases when the error code is not 2112, it will basically execute the rule number 2 and or other rule where whatever you have defined in for particularly that scenario. Now we have went through the design time, what you can do during the design time, like decomposition design, your fulfillment design, the jeopardy, and then fallout, how you can prepare the data or create rules, create decomposition. Those were all design time. So now when comes to runtime monitoring, how you can check or what capabilities you have during the runtime. So let's go through it and understand how DRO enables you to do a runtime monitoring. So let's the first feature is decomposition viewer. So in under the decomposition viewer, how it works basically, when you have submitted an order, you will have a tab called fulfillment line, right? It provides you a real-time insights that how your product is decomposed. So on this screenshot, you can see that on the left side, these are the order product. Under this this bundle, you have two products, laptop and mouse. And once it is decomposed, this is your fulfillment order products. On this right side panel of this screenshot, you can see these how this bundle is decomposed and in which fulfillment request or fulfillment order product it is decomposed to. So here you can see there are like it is decomposed to two products and it has its own number assigned to it or ID assigned to it. And you can also see the action on this on both side of order product and fulfillment order product. Then you have a graphical interface also, and which can be invoked via this, which is called fulfillment plan, where you can visualize what step currently is executed during the fulfillment plan, and what are the steps in future will be executed, and what are the steps executed already. So it gives you basically a holistic picture of your fulfillment process during the runtime. Okay, so benefits is basically you have the capability for real-time monitoring, and it allows you to see how your order is progressing. Then also if there are any errors or any issues coming, you can quickly spot what issues or what errors are there for that particular item. So for fulfillment, we saw the view for the decomposition. So when it comes to fulfillment plan, this is how the runtime look of that particular fulfillment plan is. It shows basically what are the steps executed, or what are the steps for this particular fulfillment plan, what are the steps which got completed, which is marked as and green, and the steps which is in progress. Here you can see it will show the status for each particular step, and the steps which are pending, right? So it here you can have the clear insight of your particular fulfillment plan, and it gives you also the capability, if in case of any issues or error, you can act quickly, open that particular task and work on it and resolve it quickly. Also there is a capability to you have particular steps you can manually go pause, resume, and retry that step. So you can see a particular drop down here. You can manually, if there is a manual task where you will be asked to mark that particular task as complete, so you can go to that drop down and go basically and mark it as complete, right? So it also gives you that kind of capability. The next feature is basically bulk retry on if any kind of failed steps are there in particular orchestration plan. You can basically choose to bulk execute those particular tasks. You can select those tasks and execute in bulk. So it basically what it does, your bulk you can mark it as bulk complete or retry, right? So bulk complete will, what it will do is basically bypass any kind of error and mark them as a complete. And bulk retry basically helps you to all the failed tasks to execute all the bulk tasks in one all the failed tasks in bulk or in like one go. So one of the scenario, it could I could imagine as an example is you have several manual tasks in your execution process which you have completed one by one, but now instead of going into changing it to complete one by one, you can basically select all of them and mark them as a complete, so which saves a lot of time to execute if your fulfillment plan is quite big. So hope runtime monitoring is clear for now. So that's the end of DRO as well. Hope you guys liked it. Okay, so let's proceed for the demo. So in this demo, I will take you through the design time data first for both product configuration and DRO. And then we will run an end-to-end flow where we will initiate the process by creating the code, adding some product to the code, configure it, then basically create an order and submit that order to DRO. And we will see the decomposition and then how the orchestration is executing the task. Okay, so that would be the complete flow. So let's start with looking at the product we will use for this demo, and then how this product we will look like in product configuration. So I have configured a laptop pro bundle for this demo. Let's look at this product details here. This is a bundle product. Let me go into the structure here to explain a little bit on. Okay, so this laptop pro bundle has two components, and under that you have two child products, antivirus and laptop. And under accessories, you have mouse, printer. There is additional bundle under accessories, which has three child line items again. So we are basically going to use this bundle for our demo. So in our previous discussion, when I was presenting the slides, I was explaining that on this screen, basically you can see how a product configuration screen will look like when you execute things during the runtime. So let's look at this product in a preview mode. So here, yeah, you can see that this is the picture it will come for the laptop pro bundle, and this is how it will look like. It's child product bundles, and all the configurations here. So this is the previous screen which can be utilized to just have a visualization of that product and whether it's bundle or simple product, right? Okay, closing this. So hope the structure wise the product is clear for you, and then there are attributes under each product. So I'll go and just showcase one of the product attribute here. This is the laptop child product of that bundle, and under that you will have several attributes to configure, and we have a rule around a configuration rule to set one of the attribute, which I will explain you in a minute. Okay, so hope that product setup is clear for everyone. Now let's look into product configuration flows. Let me go back to the home screen, and then here this is the product configuration flow record. You can access it via this home window or this drop down, or you can access it via the app launcher as well. So this is the record basically which tells you this is your product configuration flow, which will invoke this flow. This is the flow API name basically, and when you start configuring the product, it will invoke this flow, and your screens, your templates will be loading up for each product configuration setup, summary screen, your pricing. So that flow will run basically will take you throughout the product configuration during the runtime. Now looking at related records. So these are the records assigned. So as I was explaining that either For these flows, either you can assign directly a product classification, or you can you have option also to assign a product. So in these cases, we have both the use cases where you have product classification assigned to this flow, or directly a product assigned to this flow, right? So this is how you can basically create a product configuration record. Then you have via clicking the new button, you can add any product classification under this flow, or assign a product or assign a product classification. Both options are possible here. Okay. Okay. So let's move to how this flow looks like under the setup. Let's move to the flow designer and see how this flow look like. So here, custom product configurator flow. Let's open it. So this is basically a screen flow. This is a pre-built configurator UI component, comes with RLM. If you open it, and if I go and edit element here, so here you can see for each type of component, there is a different template here, which is used during the runtime. So data manager, as I was explaining, it's a invisible component. It's basically used for mapping your context definitions, or using your context definition during the runtime to configure your product. Then you have header, message, transaction header, navigation, and your configuration summary screen, where you on the right side, where you can see the summary component related product pricing, attributes, configuration options, product attributes. So these are basically configurable components here, and this is basically pre-built coming with the RLM. Or you can basically use this component, or you can create your own flow and use this component to design your flow as per your business requirement. Okay. Okay, so hope this flow product configurator flow is clear for everyone. Now let me move to the configuration rules setup, how we have done the configuration rule setup. So from the home page, again, you can go and click on this configuration rules. Here I have configured this new rule. So let me just open it. So when you edit this rule, this is the interface to basically configure any rule. So we have gone through what type of rules you can go, like for example, setting up the quantity, setting attribute, auto add, auto remove, and other configurations. Also, you can basically use different action type under this rule. So basic setup, name, date, validity. So here you have different status. When you are trying to modify or creating or designing this rule, just keep it in the draft stage. Once you've done the configuration, then you can basically make it active. If the rule is not active, it will not run. So just remember to, after your configuration is done, just remember to activate it, so that this rules will be executed, or these rules will be executed inside the product configuration flow. Okay, the sequence is also very important to control the sequence of execution for these rules. So please keep in mind, if you have multiple rules on a single product, sequence will matter if there are dependency between the rules. So just keep in mind, you have to provide the sequence correctly, so that your data or your rules can be handled properly during the runtime. Moving to the next screen. So on this screen, here you have basically rule scope, whether it is a bundle or it's a product, right? So I have a rule right now on a bundle. My rule is on Laptop Pro bundle, which says that if you are under this bundle, the first condition is if my product is laptop, and the storage on this product, if the storage attribute is attributes value is SSD hard drive 2 TB, then then the rule should be executed and perform this following action, which says that you have that this rule will set the attribute on laptop product. And what is that attribute? Graphics. So this attribute basically will be set with this value on the execution time on this product configuration screen. You will, when this rule is executed, you will see this message. It's a customizable message. You can put any message you want here, and you will see this message that this attribute has been updated. And there are different message right now. I mean, the pick list is only have informational, but you can have you have the capability to define warning message, error message as well. So once you have configured, so also just note that here it's not only with one condition. You have the capability to add multiple conditions for this rules, or multiple actions as well for this rule. So it's quite configurable here. Yeah, so once this is done, you can save this and activate the rule. So this is how the rule configuration works. Okay, so this is about the product configuration setup right now, and then let's move to check the DRO setup, how the decomposition and orchestration is set up, and then we will move to the demo. Okay. So here you have the app, separate app for dynamic revenue orchestrator. Let me go into it. And under this, let me go on the home page. So here, basically here, this is the setup where you can see the product decomposition, fulfillment workspace. So you have tabs here, tiles here to define what component you want to work on. And there are some informational components here, like what are the active fulfillment plan, how many in progress, and this screen basically configurable, and you can customize this homepage according to your business need, right? Okay, so let's start with the product decomposition page, and we will go through the orchestration later. So right now, I have two decomposition rules defined. One is for laptop and another is for mouse. So to define this decomposition, what I had to do, like I was saying, it is always a good practice to visualize or diagram the decomposition rules, or to have a proper visualization. It's better to put it inside the diagram, and then you know that what components can be decomposed into what, and based on that diagram you can start configuring these rules, right? So for this setup, I have a source product and a destination product. So this destination product also have attributes around it. So let me open it. So this is my I call it as a technical product laptop, which will be used for the decompositions, and I have attributes as well configured around it. So in this setup, this decomposition rule is saying that whenever source product is in the card and decomposition executed, it will be source product will be decomposed into this destination product. Then the next step is execute on rule. So this rule basically you can have different kind of rules defined here, which is either on the order line item, fulfillment line item, which tells you that this decomposition rule will only be executed when this condition is satisfied. So you can have different kind of either fields or attributes configured here with the condition, and based on that condition this rule will be executed. And the next step is now the field and attribute mapping. Really important step here, which helps you to decompose your or define your decomposition mapping, what data will flow from your source product to target product, right? So in this case, in this example, I have a laptop product, source product with following source attributes, and I have my destination product with target attributes, right? So I have mapped these attributes because I want all of these attributes information flown down to the target product. But in different use cases, or depends on the different business requirement, you have a choice to basically map the number of attributes you want. So in best practices, only the technical information or the information which is needed by the provisioning system or shipping system to use for specific product, only that information should be sent down to the downstream system, and others should be kept as a commercial attribute. So this mapping depends on these business requirement basically, and you can configure it based on whatever your project requirements or business requirements are. Okay, so this is how the decomposition mapping is defined inside a decomposition for DRO. Okay, so let's go to the home page again. Let's look into the decomposition part. Hope it's clear for everyone. Now let's look into the fulfillment workspace. So now this is my fulfillment workspace. So basically you need to create a fulfillment workplace to design your fulfillment plans. So right now I have created just for testing purpose. This is my fulfillment workplace, and under this I have a different each swim lane belongs to a fulfillment step definition group. So you from here you can create a new step group which you can give. So for, let's see, for the demo purpose, let me just put it test and how it looks like. You can see, save it, and then this is the step definition group will be created, and each step definition group will have its own task, fulfillment task configured for it. So if you want to configure, let's say, a step under activation, you can just do add step, and basically what you can decide, which fulfillment step definition group it belongs to, what type of step it is, whether it is auto task, call out, manual task, milestone, and pause. You can choose from this, and then provide name for this definition, and the scope for this fulfillment task. Like I explained earlier, that you can use different type of scope for even decomposition and orchestration plan, and your scope will decide how many instances of that item will be there during the runtime. So in this case, it is plan, so that it will be only one. And they're like different bundle and line item. It depends. Again, it depends on the requirement you want, or what is your business requirement or use case, right? So based on that, you can configure this. So I have, for demo purpose, I have configured this fulfillment plan, which is, start from the milestone. Then I have activate license as a call out. So basically this call out, you can see the information here that it belongs to this definition group type call out. And then on this tab, you can see what step it is dependent on. So you can create this dependency, and these blue lines on these fulfillment, or between these fulfillment tasks, these blue lines represent the dependency, how the orchestration plan will be flowing, and how these tasks, or what task is linked to or dependent to which task, right? So right now I have, like, check inventory is also dependent on start. Both of these two tasks, activate license and check inventory, can be executed parallelly. But then we have a dependency on, like, book delivery is dependent on check inventory. So what this dependency means is, until unless check inventory call out is successful or this task is completed, book delivery will not be executed. So it will be marked as still pending until check inventory in this orchestration plan is completed. Okay. Also notice that each definition group has its own task. So you have the capability based on your fulfillment criteria or fulfillment scenarios. You can basically define the groups, and under that groups you can define different type of tasks you want to do, you want to execute, right? Okay. One more thing want to tell you that regarding the scenarios here. So on each definition group, you can basically configure the scenario for the particular step definition group, which lets you let me open it here. Yeah, so here basically, which in this scenario, you can basically explain that this step definition group will be linked to a scenario, or this activation definition group is linked to a product laptop, and it whenever the actions, whether it is add, change, or extend, you can basically put it whatever action you are expecting or you want to execute this definition group, you can add those actions. These are basically the order actions or quote line item actions, which decides decides the initiation of this fulfillment plan group. So whenever in this scenario, if the laptop is the product, it's added to the order, it will, your orchestration engine will check if this product is there inside the order and it belongs to this activation group with the action add and change, then this definition group will basically be executed. So you have to, it is very important to link your products to your scenarios and scenarios back to the step definition group. Then only this will be, this step definition or these tasks will be executed during the runtime. Okay. So currently, this is how the orchestration plan looks like. Right now, it has multiple type of tasks, call outs, milestone, manual task. Then there is a call out again and auto task, then again milestone. Right. Okay. So let me delete this test one. Back to the fulfillment workspace here. Okay, so hope this scenario and this design time configuration makes sense, and it's, you know, things are getting clear for you guys. It's best way to test it, basically get your org, you know, play with it, design your scenarios, take a real use case scenario, design the decomposition, design the orchestration plan, and then test it, and then you will understand how data flows and, you know, how the decomposition and orchestration work during the runtime. Okay. So this is all about the fulfillment design time thing. And now let's move to the end-to-end demo. So let me switch it to the sales and quoting app. Let's go to the opportunity. So we will initiate the flow by creating a code, and then basically use that code to configure the products, and then create an order and submit that order. So let's create a code. we will name the code. Let's use expiration date, month end, status draft, count, status data, and let's save it. So this is the screen, grid screen for your code line items, which is used for the configurations as well. Okay, so here, whenever a product is added, you will be presented with the line items here, and this screen is also basically customizable. You can add this customization basically works with any normal customization on Salesforce page. Basically, you can configure the tabs, you can edit and remove the column based on the requirement, and the changes will come in effect. Okay, so below is the code summary component. So let's now start adding the products to this cart. So on top right corner, you have three buttons: browse catalog, create order, and new contract. And there are a few more buttons, actions here. Depends on requirement. You can again configure these actions. So let's go and browse to the catalog. So we are using, there are multiple catalogs here again. We are going to use this MP hardware catalog, which we have configured and assigned these products to this catalog. So let's go inside this catalog here. So here we have product laptop pro bundle. So let me go. So there are two options here. So what we can do, either we can add this product directly from here, which we are going to do, or we can go and use the configuration screen from here, clicking, go to the configuration screen, do the configuration, and then save it. So let's say we can do it like either way. It depends on basically how you want to do it. So I have added the item. When I click add, you can see here on the top right corner, there is there is an incremental number. So whenever you start adding the line items, here you will see the numbers are increasing. Okay, so now I have added this product to the cart. Let me try to save. So the product is added to the cart. Here you can see these are the two mandatory child which got added. Here you can see the list price, and is displayed here the net unit price. So here also you can notice that there is a small blue line which basically invokes the pricing flow, or it shows the pricing waterfall, how this price is reached up to this point, right? So if there are any discounts or any adjustments are there, you would be able to see that here as well, related to the pricing data. Okay, so now let's try to configure this bundle. So now here you can see this is the screen when we were doing a preview. This is the screen which you were able to see during the preview, where you can see there are like two buttons: product validation, instant pricing. So you can have it enabled, disabled on both the cases. If I make it enabled, the product will be priced instantly. And whenever I make a change, it will basically start fetching the price for that product or that attribute instantly. But also it impacts the performance. Just keep in mind, like when you enable this, the things are instantaneously, or it's the pricing is invoked for each change you are doing for that product. So depends on your use case whether you want to enable it or not. It's pure business decision or a sales process decision. So now on this screen, on the left side, you can see this laptop has like other products as well. The laptop was mandatory, that's why it got added by default. Then you have antivirus as a child component. Then under accessory, you have mouse. and then printer bundle and warranty. So these are, so if you want to add a product, we can basically just go and select this product. And here you can see this is the summary page where you can see the changes, what are the changes happening on this product, or whatever changes, either you are updating a product, existing product, or adding a new product, right? So now let's go and configure the laptop product. So when I click that gear icon, you can see here, this is basically the screen for product attributes, where you can see different attribute categories are there, and under that different attributes. And here on the right side panel, you can see that what are the attributes are selected and the price for that product, right? Now, if you guys remember, I have shown you a rule which says that, you know, if on laptop product, if storage is set to 2 gig, this graphics attribute should be set. So right now you can see this is blank. Let's try to change this storage value to 2 TB and see if our rule is executing or not. So this attribute updated, and now here you can see that the graphics attribute value is updated. So this is how the rule. So what it did in the background, it checked, the rule engine checked that, you know, there is a rule related to this attribute. Once this attribute is the value got, the storage attribute value got changed, it triggered the rule and it basically set the value on this graphics attribute. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. So back to this screen. So now, like after configuring your rule, after configuring your attributes, you basically it is saved on your product. So what you can do is, once you have finalized your configuration, you can basically create the order. Right now, like for me, I'm satisfied with my code line items. Let's go and create an order. And when I click this create order, it basically invokes a synchronous process in backend, and it will create an order in the backend, and it will notify this is the order ID for us. So let's move to this order now. Okay. So again, on this order screen, you can see it's a similar screen again, but there is a new tab which is called decomposition view. So here you can see again on the commercial side, there are like order product which are commercial product. Right now it has it has not been decomposed yet because we haven't submitted this order yet. So at this point also, there is a possibility, if you want to, you know, make any changes to your order, you can do the changes, and then basically once you are satisfied with the changes, you can basically submit this order. So when use the status as submit, save. So in the background, it will again trigger a flow for submitting the order, which will invoke the decomposition engine and orchestration engine. So now when we go back to the decomposition view, let me refresh this screen. Yeah. So now here you can see that these two products are decomposed. Based on our rules, we have defined that we had two decomposition rule, one for laptop, one for mouse. Based on that, these two these two technical products has been added. So now if I want to see like how, which product is decomposed to what product, because right now it's a small order, we know the rules, that's why we can see. But if imagine if there is a 10 line items, 50 line items, or 100 line items, and you want to find out what product, which commercial product decompose to which commercial technical product, then there is a button here, a link button, which you can click, and then it will highlight the decomposed product on the right and left corner, right? So here, and you can see the order actions as well here. Similarly for the mouse, now I can see both links here, like mouse and laptop, right? On the corner here, you can also see that there is a button to view the fulfillment plan, and right now it is showing it is in progress. So let's look into this fulfillment plan. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit. So right now, and during the design time, you have seen that these were the fulfillment task we have created, and this is how in during the runtime it uses those step definitions and created these tasks for the fulfillment plan. So why these two got failed, right? You can see the milestone got completed, but these tasks were executed parallelly and both marked as failed. Why? Because right now this org is not connected to any integration system or any mob system, so it executed the call out, but during the integration it failed, so that's why it marked as failed. And if I want to mark it as complete, or I want to proceed ahead with this execution, I can go and mark it as a complete. It will just override that task status, and same for this. And then the next set of tasks, you can see that it started, it went to in progress. So these manual tasks, basically both are the manual tasks in here. Why these in progress, why these are still not executed? Because remember, these are the manual tasks, and these manual tasks basically needs a manual intervention. You can see the details on, when you open it. Let me make it zoom here. So when you open this task on the right side panel, you can see the details here, whether there was any rule, what was the line items, what was the scope for this, what is the definition group it belongs to. So basically, and the dependencies for this step. So when yeah, so and if you want to see the dependency between these tasks, so what you can do is basically go on any of the item or any of the fulfillment tasks and just hover on that particular task, then it will highlight the dependency between this particular task and other tasks which are dependent on it, or the task this particular task is dependent on. So here if I hover over on this particular task, you can see that this task is dependent on following two tasks, and until these tasks are completed, this will not be executed, right? And then initiate billing is the next task, which is dependent on installation of equipment task, and until this installation of equipment is not completed, the initiate billing will not be completed, right? So this is how your orchestration works in real scenarios where you have all your integrations running, you have your manual process setup, what task needs to be done. This will be executed. The automations will kick in, the manual tasks will be assigned to someone in a queue, some person or team. They can go and execute that particular item, and then automation task, call out, auto task, all these will be executed automatically, and the status will get changed based on whether that particular task is failed or successful. So this is how the fulfillment plan execution works. So this is, you can during the runtime monitoring, you can see whether, the progress of your fulfillment plan, which task is in progress, which task got completed, what are in progress, which task is failed, and based on the status, you can, make an informed decision what type of actions you need for that particular task. Okay. Great. So now let's move to the account to just see how the assets and the amend or renew or cancel scenario works. So under this account, I have a few assets which got assetized. So what we can do basically, this is a flow where a real use case would be, there is a customer who is already an existing customer. He bought already some few products in the past, and now he or she is coming back to change, to make a change or request a change for an existing product. So that's how you can initiate the amend, renew, or cancel. So whatever the ask is. So in this case, let's go and try to see an amend scenario. And let me select laptop and mouse as a product, and then let's try to see an amend. So here, amend date, it's asking the amend date, either it could be this date or a future date. We'll go and submit. So now both of the line items are in the cart, and it depends again. If you want to make a change, you can go on particular product, start configuring this product. And let's say if you want to change RAM size to 16 gig. So here you can see that this in amend scenario, it shows that memory got changed from 8 GB to 16 GB. And now let's go save and exit. So this configuration is saved, and now here you can see that this was the existing item, and the order action is shown as update here, right? Yeah. So in this order again, like if you want to add a new item, you can basically go and again try to add a new item. So let's go and try to add any accessories. Let's try to do a headset. And let's see. Okay. So now the headset got added. There is this is the new product. You can see the price is populated, and let's see and try to. Okay, there are no attributes to configure. That's why we don't have any configuration setting here. So these are the item updated. So this is how your amend and renew, cancel things was. You can basically go and create your amend scenarios, and your orchestration or fulfillment flow basically works in the same way. It depends on how you configure your fulfillment plan for your amend scenarios, new scenarios, or cancel scenarios. Based on your design, your execution will work. Your task fulfillment task will be created or executed based on that. So hope this demo is useful for you, and you got some valuable information out of it, and hope this knowledge sharing session helps you in your RLM journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anuj, for taking us through the slides in theory for CPQ and DRO and the end-to-end demo. We will now do a wrap-up for this session. So if you want to get hands-on, there are a few options. If you are a Salesforce partner or employee, you can spin up an SDO, simple demo org, from Partner Learning Camp. This demo org will have Revenue Cloud enabled, but generally not configured. So you will need to go through the help documentation to follow the steps and the steps that we discussed in the previous session to configure it, set up Salesforce pricing, etc. These orgs expire after 1 month. You can raise a support case to extend them for 1 year. Another option is you can go to the partner community and this RLM partner pocket guide. This has a trial force ID that has a lot of things pre-configured in there for you if you want to just get some hands-on as fast as possible. If you are a customer or otherwise not a partner or not an employee, the other option for you as of today is you can spin up a Winter 25 pre-release org on the pre-release trial org page for Communications Cloud. This has Revenue Cloud enabled, but mostly not configured. So similar to the previous slide, you would need to go through the configuration from your side. And then if you're looking for other enablement resources, check out the Salesforce help documentation. There's quite a lot of documentation available on Revenue Cloud, formerly of Revenue Lifecycle Management. There is a foundation module of RLM, which hasn't been rebranded to Revenue Cloud yet, on Trailhead, and take a look at the industries listed there. That might give us a hint of where Revenue Cloud is going in the future. Again, if you're a partner or employee, check out the RLM Partner Pocket Guide. There's links to a lot of great materials there with more details. And for now, that's it in terms of enablement resources. Do follow Apex Hours, follow me, follow Anuj, follow Stratus Carta on LinkedIn for more Revenue Cloud content. We will get that out to all of you. Another piece to Revenue Cloud is Omni Studio is used widely throughout all of Revenue Cloud and in general Salesforce industries. If you're interested in learning a bit more on Omni Studio, we did a series with some of my former Velocity and Salesforce colleagues a few years ago on Omni Studio. It's a multi-part series, and you can see the different sections here. We have Getting Started, Flex Cards, Omni Scripts, Data Mapper, which was formerly Data Raptor, integration procedures, deployment via IDX Workbench and CLI, Omni-out, and best practices. So lots of content there if you're interested in getting hands-on with Omni Studio. And then, of course, there is some great Salesforce help documentation and some Trailhead modules there as well. So that's it for this session. In the next session, we will go through Revenue Cloud, Salesforce contracts, and documentation, document generation that will wrap up this series on Revenue Cloud. And please do follow us, Apex Hours, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. On Twitter, use the hashtag Salesforce Apex Hours, and the username is Apex Hours. Check out the website, apexhours.com. Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow us on YouTube. Thanks, everyone. Hope this was a useful session. See you on the next one.